Imagine a time when being loved meant being needed, when kindness became a cage and generosity turned into a prison of your own making. There once lived a man who discovered too late that people liked him because he was easy, always available, never saying no, never causing trouble. He became someone people expected but never truly valued, like a lamp that's always on, taken for granted until it burns out. This story began in childhood, as most stories do. Every time he said yes when he wanted to say no, adults smiled. Every time he sacrificed his comfort for others, he received praise. What a good boy, they would say. So helpful, so understanding. And slowly, quietly, a dangerous belief took root in his young heart. Being needed is the same as being loved. Years passed and this belief grew stronger. At work, he stayed late without being asked. With friends, he was the one who always adjusted his plans. In his family, he was the problem solver, the peacekeeper, the one who never complained. People said, "You're such a nice person." But nobody asked, "Are you okay?" At night, when everything was quiet, he felt something heavy settle in his chest. Not sadness, not anger, but emptiness. His phone was full of conversations, yet his heart felt utterly alone. He looked around his life and realized he had become a supporting character in everyone else's story, including his own. He started asking himself uncomfortable questions. Why do I feel tired even on free days? Why do I feel anxious when I rest? Why do I feel invisible in my own life? The answers came slowly, like dawn breaking through thick clouds. He wasn't tired because of work. He was tired because of overgiving. He was exhausted from carrying everyone else's burdens while neglecting his own soul. One evening, someone messaged him again. A favor, another request. Normally he would reply instantly, dropping everything to help. This time, he paused. His heart raced. His mind imagined rejection, anger, disappointment. But he didn't reply immediately. He waited. Hours passed, then days, and something remarkable happened. Nothing. The world didn't end, people didn't abandon him, the sky didn't fall. In that silence, a painful but liberating thought surfaced. If I disappear tomorrow, would people miss me? Or just miss what I did for them? The answer was devastating and freeing at the same time. Some people weren't connected to him. They were connected to his availability. They loved what he provided, not who he was. This realization cut deep, but it also set him free. Slowly, without grand announcements or dramatic declarations, he began to change. He started replying later, not immediately. He began saying no without elaborate explanations. He rested without guilt, chose himself without apology. Some people, predictably, drifted away. But his energy returned like a river finding its natural course. He learned a truth that changed everything. Kindness without boundaries is not kindness. It is self-erasure. People respect presence when it is not guaranteed. A flower that blooms only sometimes is more precious than one that's always there. The man didn't lose people during this transformation. He lost illusions. He lost the exhausting performance of being endlessly available. He lost the hollow feeling of being needed, but not truly known. And one night, he slept peacefully. Not because his life was perfect, but because it finally belonged to him. His calendar had space to breathe, his heart had room for his own dreams, his energy was his own to give or keep. If this story sounds familiar, if you recognize yourself in these words, know this: your worth is not measured by your usefulness. Your value doesn't depend on your availability. True kindness begins with being kind to yourself. The journey from people-pleasing to self-possession is not easy, but it is necessary. Because in the end, a life lived for everyone else is a life not lived at all.